the key is to figure out how to not be disappointed when it hasn't happened to you yet, when it hasn't come into full-blown manifestation yet, because it has come into being. There is a vibrational version of your desire that is alive and well and gathering cooperative components, and you can tap into that. Even though you can't yet see it or hear it or smell it or taste it or touch it, you can tap in to the actuality, to the reality of this vibrational version. And when you do, then disappointment cannot be upon you, because you are actually sensing this unfolding. It's like this anticipation of more to be seen and heard and so forth. You never get it done, so there will always be something more that you have sifted from life that you now want, that is in the process of becoming. And we want you to enjoy all of the phases of the unfolding of this. It's like if you were to plant some corn, for example. As you prepare the soil, that's part of the process. And as you put the corn into the ground, that's part of the process too. And you're wise enough to understand that process, because you don't stomp on the ground and demand that it comes out today and then feel all disappointed when it doesn't, because you understand that there is a process and that you know that it will germinate in that soil. You know that it will become more, and a lot will happen before you are able to see any of it. And then for quite a while, even though you can see it, you see it in its beginning, not in its fullness. And if you are a wise farmer, you understand that all is well in this unfolding process. And we want you to understand that you are the creator of your own reality, and that a lot of your seeds are in the ground. But if you're stomping on them, disappointed that you're not seeing them yet, you're slowing the whole process down. We want you to leave here today with a greater understanding of what it feels like to be in that happy, anticipatory state of being, where you are trusting the process, and even more, you are believing in your own worthiness. You are expecting good things to happen to you, because sometimes you look out into the world in a sort of comparative fashion, and you don't know how long ago somebody planted their corn. You don't know how long they even wanted corn. You don't know how ready their soil was when they planted it. You don't know about their corn. You only know about yours. But as you compare your newly planted seed with someone else's long ago planted seed, sometimes then you come away from it feeling unworthy or incapable when you are not. You have so much more in this now potential for getting your energy straight in order to begin a faster process toward the things that you want than you realize. And sometimes what happens to you, because you've not really understood the laws of the universe, and you've not really understood your place in the universe, and you have not really understood your relationship with your inner being and with all that is and with the energy that creates worlds, so you have been responding to conditions and thinking thoughts all over the place about wanted and unwanted. You've been thinking about what you want in the absence of it, and you've been noticing what is for quite a long time in many cases. And so because you have not deliberately and knowingly been focusing yourself within your understanding of the laws of the universe, you've been wanting and then noticing the lack, and wanting and then noticing the lack, and you haven't allowed any momentum to go. And so sometimes what you've been wanting it for a long enough time that now your habit of thought around it is that it's not happening, and your emotion around it is disappointed rather than eager and anticipating. And so we want you to understand that you can't measure from where you stand right now how long anything is going to take by how long it's been taking, because that was then and this is now, and because then you didn't know what you are knowing now. In other words, don't compare how long something will be One day a man sat in the hot seat and he was really sad because he had experienced a dramatic and drastic financial downturn. And in his words, Abraham, I've lost everything. And I'm in my 60s, he explained, and I just don't see how I will ever in this lifetime recover or even come close to recovering. And we said, you are misunderstanding a really fundamental thing. You cannot measure where you are in relationship to whatever it is that you're wanting by the manifestation that you have in your life experience right now. That is irrelevant. Didn't feel irrelevant to him because he had a lot of assets a few days ago, and now he didn't have any of those same assets. His balance sheet looked very different, and because of his balance sheet looking different, he felt very different. And we said, you got to understand that you've been amassing vibrational momentum, and that your point of attraction today, after understanding all of that, is very different than it was all those years ago when you were just beginning. The universe is responding to your vibrational projection, to your vibrational offering. And you can stand here and let this circumstance that has happened to you, you can let it be the reason that you think the thoughts you think, and therefore project the vibration that you project, and therefore accomplish the point of attraction that you can accomplish. And you're right, it won't be in this lifetime that anything begins to turn around for you. Or you can stand in the vibration that you have accumulated. You can be and experience the momentum that you've been gathering, and it can turn around fast. And he could hardly believe what he was hearing from us, because he couldn't get his thoughts around the idea that something that had taken him so much of his life to accomplish could now be accomplished in a very short period of time, because it isn't about time, it's about alignment. It is not about time. It's not about anything other than what you are doing with your vibrational alignment. It is simply what you are doing with your beliefs in relationship to your desires. When you desire something that you believe, there's no time between the vibrational accomplishment of it. But when you want something and you doubt it, there's as much time as you continue to doubt it. Sometimes people will say, well, how long will it take me to get from where I am to where I want to be? And we say, as long as it takes you to stop doubting and start believing. And they say, well, how long will that take? As long as it takes you to stop doubting and start believing. Well, how long does that take? Well, it takes as long as it takes for you to stop doubting and start believing. Well, how long does that take? And we say, it's really a variable. But it has to do with how conditioned you are at focusing on what is, and how willing you are to focus upon the vibrational what is. As humans, most of you, we love you so much, but you give most of your attention to things that are occurring. In other words, you are reacting mostly to the circumstances around you. So most of your vibration is in reaction to what is. So if you're looking at something that pleases you, your reaction is one that is beneficial to you. But if you're looking at something that doesn't please you, then your vibrational reaction is something that is not beneficial to you. And you got to cut that out. You've got to stop just looking around by default, and then reacting to what you see and expecting any consistency in your vibration. You have to figure out how to be consistent in your vibration. You have to decide, and you have to practice, and you have to become good at, a master at, offering a vibration that feels good even when the condition hasn't changed. You have to stop letting your vibration be about what is. You have to begin to find a way to let your emotions travel down the path of how you want to feel. So how do you do that? How do you do that after you've been reacting to life so long? Your kids are so sweet this morning, and you just love them so much. So easy to love them. They were sleeping long. The sweet little faces when they're asleep. And then they wake up. And they start fighting with each other right away. And you can hear the drama and the trauma all around the house. And you put your head down on your desk and you think, kill me now. And now you feel different than you did about them when they were asleep. And that's not cool. Because you got to figure out how to be consistent without asking the conditions around you to change. Because you can't control the conditions around you. You know that if you've got kids. You cannot control the conditions around you. And the harder you try to control the conditions, the more you give up your life for something that never gets you anywhere. In other words, there's a way easier way to go about it. You can find a way to feel the way you want to feel regardless of the conditions. And that's what unconditional love is. That's what unconditional alignment is. That's what unconditional clarity is. That's what living in the sweet spot is. That's what practicing the art of allowing is. That's what being in the sweet spot and watching what feels to others like the magic of the universe swarming around you and providing for you this perfect ride. You are the creator of your own reality, which means you are the keeper of your own vibration, which means you are the focuser of your own thoughts. But the way you figure out how to focus your thoughts is by understanding that there is a relationship, a vibrational relationship between what you're thinking right now and what your inner being is thinking right now about the same thing that you're thinking about something right now. When you focus upon something, the whole of you is focused upon it too. And the whole of you has a perspective about what you're thinking about. So let's say you're focused upon something that is really causing you a feeling of irritation. The reason that you feel that feeling of irritation is because your inner being is focusing upon exactly the same thing from a different point of view. Your inner being is expecting good to come, and you, if you feel negative emotion, are not. The reason that you feel doubt, the reason that you feel any negative emotion is because your opinion right now is bogus. Or we can be kinder than that. Short-sighted. Or stupid. No. Your perspective right now is different than that of your inner beings. Now, we're playing with you. We don't want you to feel critical of yourself, and we certainly are not feeling critical of you, because you live in this time-space reality, and law of attraction is managing everything around you. So if you have some momentum going that is causing you to feel some negative emotion, you're not going to stop it all of a sudden, because law of attraction will not allow it. Whatever you've got going on vibrationally, the law of attraction is bringing you more of. So law of attraction works tremendously to your advantage and tremendously to your disadvantage, because it responds to whatever it is you've got active within you. But it also responds to whatever your inner being has going on actively too. For example, if life has caused you to want more prosperity, your inner being is focused upon that prosperity, and not just believing it, but knowing it absolutely. So as your inner being is focused upon the prosperity that you've carved out and asked for, if you're focused for some reason on some event that makes you feel shortage consciousness, then there's a vibrational variance right here, right now, on the same subject, because your inner being believes, knows your financial abundance, and right now you don't. And you're feeling the negative emotion that is evidence to you of how much your inner being believes. Do you like the way we said that? That's evidence of how much your inner being believes. It's also evidence of how much you don't believe, but that's not the part we want you to focus upon. We want you to focus upon how much your inner being believes in your autonomy, in your prosperity, in your ability to thrive on your own. Because each of you are extensions of source energy. And source energy is raining down around you and upon you and for you on your behalf blessings of indescribable proportion and nature. And if you're not realizing them fully, it means you've got some shortage consciousness going on in your point of view, which we understand why you would, because you've been looking at what is, looking at what is, looking at what is. Oh, things move forward so much more slowly than they need to. You could clean up your vibration and shorten that gap of manifestation, and we wish that for you. We don't want you to wait so long for something that it's hard to remember how much you want it. We don't want your desires to feel like disappointment to you. We want them to feel like the fresh idea that they felt like when they first occurred to you in the beginning.